what gets swept under all the madness of what we saw yesterday is that Joe Flacco, who's not a Hall of Famer, but a borderline Hall of Famer, you don't play into your 40s without being a very, very accomplished quarterback. He's won a Super Bowl. And it's the first time he's thrown for 400 yards in his career. Threw for 470 yards with an injury at his brittle age. 470 yards. And it's not good enough. You know what? I trade them all. Trade Joe Flacco. Trade him to the Commanders, who's going to have Jaden Daniels out for a long time. Ha! Wouldn't that be awesome? You want to make a big brain play, flip the Joe Flacco trade and just get him, and we'll play Jake Browning, and we'll go 3-14 for the rest of the year and have a top 5 pick. It's the other piece of this is we keep talking about we are wasting Joe Burrow's career, which we are. Part of it's he's always hurt, but we are wasting it in these last 3 years. Jamar Chase, I'm not old enough to watch that. I never saw Anthony Munoz play football. I understand that he is regarded as one of, if not the best offensive linemen that have ever played this sport. When I watch the Cincinnati Bengals, and I have been since about 2001, Jamar Chase has the ability to go down as the greatest Bengal of all time. He is an otherworld talent. And we're not just wasting Joe Burrow, we're wasting his career. Because it's pretty clear, and I think Joe Burrow is one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the world, so don't get this twisted. Don't get this twisted. It's pretty clear that when you got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase running around, and you got a guy that can read a defense, unlike Jake Browning, you got a guy that can throw the ball, even with a banged-up shoulder with some velocity, unlike Jake Browning, that this team and this offense can fire at a very high level. Maybe the best, certainly top 5 in the league. And the other thing that's crazy about it is we don't even need all the trick plays that Ben Johnson's doing, quadruple reverses and flea flickers and bug flickers and spider flickers and whatever you got up your sleeve, Ben Johnson. We don't need that because we just tell Jamar Chase, go get open, big guy, and he gets open. We tell T. Higgins, hey, we're just going to throw the ball up for you. You go get it, big guy, and he goes and gets it. That's how good this offense is. And still, they put up 42 and 38 points in the last 2 weeks. And it's not good enough. And it's becoming abundantly clear that it'll never be good enough with this defense. It's... I don't know what else to say, Stone. I don't know what else to say. Because this team has about... it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trade deadline's 4 p.m. tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And they have, by my approximation, 29 hours to make a franchise-altering move, or I have lost all confidence in this operation at all.
What are you hoping to gain from the rest of this season? I think we're both on the same page that playoffs, you can forget about the playoffs. Right, unfortunately, you can probably forget about Joe Burrow playing another snap this year for the Cincinnati Bengals. But what are you trying to get? Obviously, you're very frustrated. I think a lot of the fan base certainly relates with you as it relates to that. But like, what are you trying to get out of this year? It seems like you want these changes to happen now, as opposed to the end of the year.
Yep.
What benefit do you think that gives? And I guess just roll through exactly what you're trying to get here. Over the
okay, so I'll lay out exactly what I want for the rest of the year.
Good.
I'll lay out exactly what I want. I want Zac Taylor gone before the trade deadline today. In fact, I want him gone before I go to bed tonight. When I lay down and turn on the white noise machine as I sleep next to my pregnant wife and my 2 golden retrievers tonight, I want to know that we are getting a new head coach here in Cincinnati. And on top of that, I want to wake up with a push notification saying that Duke Tobin's also gone. So I want those 2 guys gone. And I don't know who's going to be pulling the triggers on these trades, but then I want to trade any piece that's not going to be here next year. the Trey Hendrickson, the Logan Wilsons. I don't know what Noah Fant's contract is, but the Noah Fants, the Cam Taylor Britts, those guys, all gone. And I want to load up the draft and the salary cap with as much space and as many picks as possible, so that when we hire a coach at the end of this year, when we hire a coach who I want it to be an adult, I'm tired of the young guys. There's going to be young names thrown around. I want it to be a defensive mind, and I want it to be an adult. Guys like Mike Vrabel, but I'll settle for one or the other. I don't want to have first-time head coach here. I know Jesse Minter's a hot name going around the D.C. for the Chargers. He went to school here in Cincinnati at Mount St. Joe University. I know there's a bunch of different names. I want an adult in the room because I feel pretty confident, and I want a defensive player because I feel pretty confident in that this offense is going to fire no matter who's calling the shots. And lastly, I want us to play nothing but young guys for the rest of this year. I want Shamar Stewart, Miles Murphy, DJ Turner, Dax, all these young guys that we've drafted over the last few years. And I want them to play as many snaps as possible so that maybe if there is some bone in their body that can play professional football, we can at least see it. They get as many reps as possible so that they're not completely green, so they're not completely wet behind the ears when we need them to play some rotational or some starting snaps next year. And I want to know exactly what we have on the defensive side, because I'm gonna spoil something for you. I already know what we got, and it's nothing on that side. We got DJ Turner and a bunch of bums. Maybe Demetrius Knight can be a starting linebacker in this league. Maybe Barrett Carter could be a starting linebacker, but they're not going to be stars. Maybe Joseph Asai can be a rotational edge rusher in this league, but he's not a star. Maybe Miles Murphy and Shamar Stewart can do something that resembles a defensive football player or a professional football player instead of whatever the hell is going on when I watch every single Sunday. I wish. That's what I want, by the way. I want as many young players to play as possible. I want as many draft picks so that the next guy can come in and mold a team in his image. I wish that I can say I'm sitting here talking to you all watching this show, talking to Stone, talking to everyone that listens to this. I wish I could sit here and tell you that I'm doing some sort of a bit. I wish that I can tell you that I'm being Stephen A. Smith right now. And I'm doing this WWE style. I'm doing a shoot or I'm doing a promo. But everything I've said for the last 57 minutes, I believe and I mean. This isn't coming just from the brain. It's coming from the heart. And it's dying. It needs a pacemaker when it comes to this team. They broke me so much yesterday. I was telling Stone this yesterday. Listen to where my emotions were at yesterday. I do this 6-hour watch along, and they break me. Snapped like a twig. And I go home, and I go, all right, I can't watch football today. Sorry, honey, because she was really wanting to watch football. Yeah. I go home, and I'm like, I'm sorry, honey, I cannot watch football. For some reason, I decide, let's watch a movie. What's a movie we went on a date and go see? So we watches 2018, A Star is Born. And I was so emotional from the Bengals game. I'm crying like a baby watching A Star is Born. And then I finish it out. How do I end my day in the world of entertainment where I'm just getting pumped with endorphins and all the stuff, all the TV shows and everything? I finished watching it all, that horror TV show, Welcome to Derry. So now I can't even go to sleep and can't turn the light off because I'm scared. I'm so lost, dude.